So speaking of touchy and sensitive, so Break Media is actually leading the charge in terms of telling fighter stories and fan acquisition. Can you tell us, what's the importance actually in 2019 and how fans are acquired specifically for fighters in sports?
Well, yeah, I mean, simply put, we're living in we're going into 2020 now, and boxing has always been such an old school sport. And due to the lack of new generation taking lead and control, everything about the sport is fading amongst millennials. And I personally don't think that promoters, networks, or managers are doing shit all when it comes to putting our sport back into the forefront of American sports. I don't think our promoters, managers, or networks are doing shit all when it comes to brand awareness of our athletes outside the sport. And I believe the current state of boxing as a whole is a fucking mess. I mean, everything from the sanctioning bodies to the egotistical promoters who are going against each other to the equally egotistical fighters who are now think that they don't have to fight the fights that the fans want. It's chaos, and it's their own fault. Boxing is making decisions strictly for short-term gain, and it's one of the worst things you can do for the longevity of a business. And this is where fan acquisition, like you just mentioned, Cassandra, comes into play, because it is the key to monopolize, to create longevity in a sport, and interest and overall passion for the sport to continue living and breathing. And there's only one case study ever since Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson in boxing where I personally saw fan acquisition work, and that was through Floyd Mayweather. Floyd became not only a superstar because of his boxing record and style, but Floyd became Floyd because he catered to his fans. And when I say fans, I actually mean his haters, because the haters were the ones who were creating content deep in the trenches where the attention actually converted, like on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. And he built his brand against his haters. And then They continued to monopolize on that because he started using that notion that people would pay to watch him lose, right? And then this continued. But, a guy like Floyd comes once an era, and that's another thing. People need to stop thinking that they're not Floyd, because you got to start building your own brand, your own talent, and showcase your own personality to attract a fan base for yourself.